Welcome to this explainer. I am so incredibly pumped to have you here today because we are going to take everything you might have been taught about how to create your future and we are going to flip it completely upside down. If you're someone who is totally ready to stop just wishing for a better life and you're eager to understand the actual nuts and bolts of building it piece by piece, well, you are exactly where you need to be. We're unpacking a framework today that's going to shift you from being a passive spectator into the active designer of your very own reality. So let's just start with the biggest, most fundamental question there is. Is your future something that's already written in the stars? Is it genuinely just out of your hands? You know, so often we fall into this incredibly passive mindset where we treat life like it's a fixed destination. We sit back, we wait for luck, or we wait for the right circumstances to just miraculously align. Or worse, we wait for someone else to give us the green light to move forward. And when we do that, we're operating under the really dangerous assumption that transformation is just some random byproduct of chance. Okay, let's dive into this. The source material brings up this really fascinating contrast. On one hand, you have what it calls the astrolabe perspective. That's viewing your future as this complex, preset machine following a rigid path that you literally can't influence. But the reality? The reality is that your future is actually a real-time construct. It's built entirely out of daily nodes, basically the sum of your everyday thoughts and your small recurring actions. By just waiting for the future to arrive on its own terms, you're essentially handing over your power to define what that future actually looks like. So how do we break out of that passive trap?
Section 1. The conscious choice. Stop waiting, start creating.
The entire engine of this framework kicks off with this one super powerful realization. Real transformation is never an accident. It's a decision. Listen, change starts the exact second, literally the exact second, you move from vaguely wanting a better life to consciously committing to the hard work required to actually build it. Notice the phrasing there, right? It's not a fuzzy hope. It is a deliberate, active declaration to yourself. To make this active shift, we absolutely have to replace those vague hopes with structured daily actions. It's a brilliant shift in perspective. You go from wishing to choosing. You step away from just wanting and you start actively creating. You drop the passive hoping and you get to work doing. It's a firm, unyielding commitment to organizing your daily actions into a structured plan for creation. But of course, making a choice is really only the beginning. A choice can easily fizzle out if there's no actual conviction behind it.
Which brings us to Section 2, the belief inversion, fuel versus prize.
Now, this is where things get really interesting, because the conventional path exposes exactly where so many of us get it wrong. Most people believe that confidence is a result of winning. Actually, scratch that, they don't just believe it, they literally wait for proof of success before they allow themselves to believe in their own abilities. But think about it, if you are waiting for proof before you apply belief, you are guaranteeing that you will never take the very first step. So the crucial point is what high achievers do instead. They use what's called the belief inversion. Basically, this means using self-belief as the starting fuel to get going, not the prize you get at the very end. High achievers choose to believe in themselves from day one. They adopt the mindset of the winner they intend to become right now. Not tomorrow, not when things get a little easier, but today. There's this fantastic quote that acts like a foundational rule of physics for your mindset. The thought comes before the ability. The belief comes before the possession. High achievers intentionally design their inner world. They're filling it with big goals, positive self-talk, and just this unwavering faith. Why? Because they know that the inner environment dictates the outer reality. You have to create your own internal certainty instead of constantly searching the outside world for it. But let's be real for a second. Belief without physical action is just a daydream, right? So how do you actually cross that bridge from just thinking about it to actually doing it? Moving from an abstract thought in your mind to a physical deed in reality carries an incredible amount of psychological friction. It is often the absolute biggest hurdle we face. To conquer that friction, our sources outline a very specific, actionable blueprint. And that brings us right into Section 3, the momentum protocol, conquering the friction. I absolutely love how methodically this is broken down. Step 1, trust your intuition, because deep down, your gut knows the direction you need to head. Step 2, provide your own reinforcement. You have got to be your own hype person. No external cheerleaders required. Step 3, protect your focus. And step 4, and this is literally the linchpin, take one imperfect action. You don't wait for permission, and you definitely don't wait for the perfect moment. Step 4 is not about achieving perfection. It is simply about ending your state of rest. You take any step forward, however imperfect it might be, just to let the physical momentum take over. Just look at the literal language of someone operating inside this protocol. I act on my own accord. I compliment myself. I start. This is direct, first-person, concrete evidence of the psychological armor that high achievers wear. They motivate themselves. They don't sit around waiting for external applause. They supply it internally to get the engine running. And honestly, as part of that armor, this next point is absolutely critical. You must actively ignore misdirected, uninformed, or even well-meaning negative opinions from others. You have to politely but firmly refuse to let those voices into your subconscious. Why? Because if you let them in, they're going to distort your vision of success, and that vision is yours, and yours alone, to define. You must protect your mental space. Because when you consistently repeat this cycle, making the conscious choice, using belief as fuel, and conquering friction with action, something truly incredible happens over time. Which brings us to Section 4, the identity shift, from passenger to architect. Because you see, you don't just do something different. You actually become someone entirely different. The habits and mindset shifts you've been practicing, they stop being a conscious effort. These traits, being non-stop, upbeat, a confident self-believer, a super-achieving go-getter, these aren't just cheesy self-help buzzwords anymore. They become the literal new baseline description of how you naturally operate in the world. You transition fully from the passenger seat directly to the architect's desk. Which brings us to what I consider the absolute psychological peak of this whole framework. I am the law unto myself. This bold, unyielding statement represents just raw, pure resilience. It means you are fully in the game. Challenges don't stop you anymore because you dictate your own standards for success. You are shaping your own destiny, informed by your intuition, fueled by your unwavering belief, and driven by your daily actions. So as we bring this explainer to a close, I really want to ground this all back in reality for you. Everything required to begin this process is available to you today. Not when you get more money, not when you have more free time, right now. You are the primary cause of change in your life. The potential is already there. The door is standing right in front of you. Ultimately, this whole architect's framework boils down to one very personal call to action. It's a phenomenal concept, absolutely, but it is utterly meaningless until you step up and apply it. You already hold the key to your own unlimited, self-made future right in your hand. The only question left is, what door are you going to open?